Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher. I hope you're doing very well. I'm happy to be showing you a pattern that I found recently in some step outs that I had printed. And the pattern is called O-Cee by Gerstner, CZT. And in her step out, she said that she was inspired by this pattern, which is called Fleurette by Genevieve Kraft. Both these ladies are CZTs. These are easy patterns. I needed something recently to just play with and not worry about how good it was going to look. I just wanted to relax and have fun with it. The first one that I did here has a couple other patterns. This is Cirque, C-I-R-C-U-E, also by Chris Gerstner. And then this is just kind of like henna drum that I put down here. But this was a piece of paper that a friend gave me, Victoria McMillan, who was my first CZT. And I just wanted to put an easy pattern on there. It came out pretty good. And then next I played with it on this. This is actually part of a pizza box. And one of the people that follows me on Facebook, Andrew, not Facebook, but one of the people that follows me on YouTube, his name is Andrew, is always showing how he is using this Kraft type paper, whether it's from a cereal box or a pizza box or whatever. It really makes a nice tile. I cut this one 4 inches by 4.5 inches because these go into my disc binder. And if you're interested in that, I have a link to information on the disc binding system that I use. But anyway, this is what we're going to do. I really love putting the brown and the black and the white together. I might use a pastel pencil. This one is kind of maroonish looking. And then I'll have my charcoal pencil, my white charcoal, graphite, and maybe some blending stumps, and possibly an eraser. I'm trying to remember to keep the 8 steps in mind. So first of all, I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to have the supplies that I do and to have so many different patterns out there that we can follow. And I do appreciate being able to use things like this, which is, like I said, a pizza box, and have it turn out really well. I was afraid that it would bleed when I put the ink on there, but it didn't. It did really good. So I am going to start with a deep breath and relax. And this piece of paper is also 4 inches wide by 4.5, and I will end up cutting that so that I can put it into my disc system. But I'm going to do my 4 corner dots. And, sometimes I forget that just doing this is a way to relax and remember that elegance of limits, the fact that we are only worrying about a small space instead of like a huge canvas for our art. Okay, I'm not trying to keep these lines perfectly straight. Maria likes to put a little doodad on her sometimes. You would call it that. Okay. And so from here, I'm just going to go ahead and start drawing the pattern O-Cee. And I will leave a link to Chris Gerstner's website where she has the step outs for this. I'm not sure where I found this, but I'm glad I have it. Okay. She doesn't worry about perfect circles. So we're just going to put an orb. And I'm going to start in this corner. And again, I'm not going to worry about it being a perfect circle. It's just an orb. And she divides it into 6 sections with a curved line. It ends up looking kind of like a basketball. All right. And I'm not trying to make them even. These look good with any shape of an orb. That one kind of came out a little bit, so I'm just going to come up a little on that. All right, so we're just going to where these lines meet, and we make kind of a C with the letter C, and then just bring it down. So here's our C, and this one's already kind of curved. So all we're doing is rounding these corners. I'm not sure if I was clear that I'm using a PN in black. PN means plastic nib. I'm going to go over these lines again, just to darken them a little bit. I do want them to show up. Okay. And same thing on these outsides. Just, I kind of made those light, and I want them to be a little bit darker. Okay, so now we're going to go to the center, and we're going to put another C or curve in each one of these spaces. Gives us kind of a star in the center. Okay. And the next thing she does is she puts an aura inside. And I am going to switch to brown. And this is an 01. I would rather do this with a PN, but I don't have it. So, or I probably do, and I can't find it. It's more likely. So we're just going to put an aura inside of each of these. You can also easily do this with a jelly roll pen. You could do this on just any color tile. If you did it on white, you could come back and add color to each of your little flowers. And I just kind of played around with each one of these. I really like putting black and the brown and the white together. It's really pretty. Okay. And I'm going to switch now I have a Jelly Roll white, an 08. I'm not sure if I mentioned that one in the beginning or not as far as supplies. And now, okay, sometimes you've got to play with your pen to get it working. So I'm going to put another aura down the center. This also reminds me of a pattern that I've seen called citrus, as in the fruit. Okay. One thing I have found is that Jelly Roll pens will tend to dry out. We do have a shelf life. Okay, and while I'm here, I'm just going to put some little dots in the center of this. They're not working very well. Again, I'm having a little bit of trouble with that Jelly Roll pen, but you get the idea. Okay, and then I'm going to come back with the brown, okay, to do the little stem in the center. And come up from the center. It doesn't matter how these curve, but if my petal is curving a certain direction, I'm just going to kind of naturally go with that direction. All right, there you go. There's our first O-Cee. Okay, I'm going to go back to my black pen, to my PN, and I'm just going to draw another one. And this one is going to go behind that one a little bit. So again, we're going to have 3 curved lines. And then we're going to put our rounding here where each one of these lines meets the orb. Straighten that out a little bit. And then go down to the center and do your little C shapes in there. Fill it in. Okay, and I'm just going to do this one in black to start with. I'm going to come around back down. Go ahead and put my little stem in the center. Again, just make it your art. I do find that the most critical judge of my work is me. So try not to judge yourself. Okay, so there's a simple one in black, but this time, okay, just going to add a little bit of an aura between each one of these. I haven't done this before. I just want to get some different ideas of how this could look. Okay, so there's a second one. I'm not sure about that one. I'm going to put a little bit more color coming up in the middle. Okay, and I think I'm going to make these just a little bit bigger, just for fun. And isn't that what it's about? For me, when I do stuff like this, I start having fun and gets me out of my funk. All right, I have switched to a Jelly Roll 10 because that 8 just wasn't working right. And now I'm going to put my dots here in the center. Maybe I can fix these a little better. Okay, and then I'm going to put a little dot in the center of each of these. All right. I can see where you could have a lot of fun with these, doing them with watercolor or anything else. All right, this one is going to be a big one that's hiding behind the others. Okay, and we're gonna pretend that there's a line that goes back this way, and then we're going to do our next one going back this way, and our last one coming under here. Okay, now we're going to round our edges. And it's okay that this one is blending into that one, and we're not going to see where those two go. And then down to the center, add our little C shapes, and fill that in. Okay, and I think I'll use the 10 again on this one, but I'm going to start with the white, where on this one I started with the brown. This one's definitely going to be brighter than the other one. I like a thinner line, but I'm already committed. Okay. Now I'm switching to brown. I'm going to add another aura. I do wish I had a thicker brown. Okay, keep in mind, if you're doing this, that the white is going to take a little bit of time to dry. So keep your hand off of it. And then I'm going to go back to black, okay, for the stem in the center. That one's going to go behind, and so is that one. Okay, so there's our third one. And we're going to stick with black this time. And let's add another one that's not exactly a circle. Okay, because this can fit into any type of orb. All right, now we're going to round our corners. And I really like how this fits and looks good, even if your petals are not exactly alike. For this one, for Fleurette, it was very evenly divided, but on this one, it does not need to be that way. You can make it more even if you like, but I think it's great that you don't have to worry about it. Okay, down to the center. And she created this pattern in 2014. So it's been a while. Okay. And let's see. Let's do the brown. I think I'm going to do brown again. Just coming up with ideas as I go. I do have a local art supply that sells individual pens. I need to go see if they have at least even like an 05 in this brown. Would be nice. But I'm also trying to not buy more supplies because I have so much. Okay. And let's try the Jelly Roll tin for our stem in the center. And we may find that we don't especially like how this looks. But again, just have fun with it. And put little dots there also. Maybe they'll help draw it together. I'm not sure about that one. Okay. And I'm going to do another small one here. Oops, sorry, almost off the screen. I just want you to see that there's a lot of different things that you can do with the pattern just by playing with it. But I've always enjoyed putting the brown, the white, and the black together on a tile. This white is really bright. I'm not sure what to think about it. Darken it a little bit more. Put our little C shapes in the center. Okay, and then our aura. Go ahead and put my stem. Apparently this one wants to be all black. That one goes behind, this one goes behind. And our little stems. Right. Let's do one more going behind. Okay. There. And here. Okay. Round our corners. Okay. That was pretty light. I'm going to do the other colors, so I do want the black to still show up. Okay. I'm going to do the brown. For our first aura. Oops, look at that. I forgot to round that one. That's an oops. This one, we're just gonna leave that. Okay, so back to my brown. Let's do an aura. Let's bring that one around. Pretend that didn't happen. So it's gonna go behind, come across a little bit, go behind again. And I'm gonna try with my 08 again on this one. So my 08 jelly roll. So it's not so bright white. Well, as you can see, it doesn't really want to work. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to the brown for the stems in the center. Okay. Now I'm back to my PN, and let's see. Since these have what looks like a little fescue inside, I'm just going to add some little details out here with fescue. Oops, sorry. And yeah, you can still see my border a little bit. And you don't have to stay inside a border. It's just there as a guide. Same thing with the string. I think right inside here, I'm just going to put a little orb. Okay. Same thing here. Put a couple of little orbs to fill this in. Couple of little fescue down here. Let's zoom out a little bit, see what we think. Whoa. Okay. So we don't have any orbs down here, or fescue down here. Okay, that one's definitely different. But it's fun. I'm actually going to put a little bit of ink on top of these. I don't like how these stems are coming out, so I'm just going to add a few lines coming out from the center to soften that a little bit. You can do what you want to yours to make it look the way that you want. A few lines coming up the center here. And I'm just adding a few lines at the center of each of these, like hatching. All right. I think it looks a little odd, but I had fun with it. I'm going to put my chop. And then I'm just going to, I think I'm going to leave that one as it is. I know I brought out, I don't know that I want to, okay, let's do this. Let's at least add some shading where one of these goes under the others. Okay, and this one is going under this one. And get my blending stuff. Soften that a little bit. And let's go ahead and let's try it. What do we got to lose? Let's go ahead and put a little bit of color at the center of this one. I really like this color. And this is how I do my tiles. I don't always have a plan. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of white at the top of this, just for fun. And then I have this tortillon for the white, and I don't have much up there, but it might set that one apart a little bit. We can put a little bit of white come across here. When I was teaching my Zentangle classes at the community college, I knew exactly what I was going to tell them to do. But it doesn't always work out this way for these videos. I kind of like that. In fact, I'm just going to add a little bit more white. Very softly. I'm barely touching the paper. And I'll probably come back with my brown pen again. Just to redefine that. So I have my brown. And I'm going to make sure that my stem still shows. Okay. Let's put some graphite in the center here. Okay. That one's probably my least favorite, but that's how you learn. That's how you figure out what you do and don't like. All right, let's zoom out a little bit. And again, this is the first one that I did. Oops, let me zoom in a little bit after all. So there's that first one compared to this one. And what I didn't like about this one was when I put all the tipple around it, then I lost the outside of the pattern of the flowers. It's okay, but it just didn't look quite right to me. But again, here's some ways that you can do your flowers. And for the big areas, you can put 2 of the little stems in the center. And then here's that one. And here's the one that I did on the dark colors. Basically did it the same, except that I used black and I used gold jelly roll. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I know it was a little bit crazy on this one, but that's what I am, just a little bit crazy. Thank you for joining me again. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time. Bye.